Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today, as you can see behind me, we have this beautiful refined storage setup. And today, we're going to get to that. So, I hope you guys are ready. So, let's just kind of start this off from all the comments that I got down in the description, or down in the comments section below. So, let's just go ahead and get rid of this. All of you guys said that this is apparently not intended, even though, I will say, there isn't anything in this pack that tells you whether or not something is the way to go. It does say it is in beta, and of course there is going to be issues, but there's not even an issue tracker, so it's kind of hard for me to go and look and see exactly what are considered issues and what are not. So I don't really, you know, all the haters out there who are saying that was cheating, it's kind of hard for me to know, of course. And plus, I've been trying to keep myself as blind to this pack as possible. So anything that I find, I'm sure other people have found as well, which is probably why you guys know and are letting me know. But I wouldn't think the atomic reconstructor itself would be, you know, removed. He even retextured it. Like I don't know. At least I think it's retextured. I don't ever remember there being a bolt on the side of it. Maybe that's an update. Who knows? But anyways, we don't really need it right now. So what I did was I went ahead and removed all my red dyed chests and just got rid of them, just because as of right now we shouldn't even have red dye. I guess I don't know. We'll go the intended way, or at least the way everybody else intends this pack to go, and we'll just go it that way. So I don't get those people saying, "Oh gosh, you're cheating," and I get all those crazy comments. But anyways, I hate having to explain myself, but you know. That's a thing. When there's no issue tracker, it's kind of hard for me to look and know what things have already been found and are issues. So just got to go from there. But anyways, moving on in today's video, we're going to be jumping into refined storage, hopefully, but we have a few tasks we need to complete before then. And those few tasks shouldn't take too long. We are going to need some machine frames. We're also going to need to think about the induction smelter. So the induction smelter is going to be how we actually form all the stuff that is going to be required for refined storage. So our actual alloyed metal, we're going to need to use the induction smelter. But the induction smelter requires an Invar gear. Now this is a kind of a small rabbit hole to kind of get us ready for what's to come further in this pack. But to get Invar, it's not so simple. I mean, it's not hard to do, but it's also not easy to do as well. So let's go ahead and take this. So the Invar, we need to make Invar ingots, right? And we need to cast this because we can't actually make an alloy kiln because we can't get string. As far as I know, we can't get string. Mobs don't spawn, mob farms don't work or whatever. So we can't get string that way. So we're kind of limited in what we can actually do. So the induction smelter, like I said, needs that alloying here to make Invar. We need nickel and iron. That's been the recipe forever. Well, nickel is the problem. Now, there are a few ways of getting nickel, which is the fractionating still, or the what is it called? Fractionating still. This guy, you put molten iron in here, and you can get yourself nickel. You know, that seems pretty straightforward. Problem is, the recipe for this requires nickel, which is what we're after. So we can't even do this until we've achieved nickel. But you do get nickel as a byproduct from grinding down iron ore. It may not be known by some people, but it definitely is a thing you do get. And I'm pretty sure it's like one of the few ways you can get it. So if you look at how to get a nickel ingot, or nickel in general, you might end up going through a rabbit hole of going, oh, how do you get pulverized? Because it is a pretty deep thing. But as you can see here, if you make iron ore, you can get yourself pulverized nickel for a 10% chance. So if you make 10 of these, you're more than likely going to get one pulverized nickel, which will allow you to make that fractioning still, and you should be able to go from there. So let's do that. How do we make iron ore? Well, we got to do it with Tinker's Construct. Yes, this requires an entire block of iron in order to make one ore. So we're going to technically need 10 blocks of iron to almost guarantee us one. It should guarantee us one dust there. So that also means we're going to need to get a setup for this, which shouldn't take too long to do. This is actually a pretty decent setup. And we also need a pulverizer. So, a pulverizer. And the pulverizer, we should have access to, like, right away. Let's grab a piston. We need some gravel, because, well, actually, we may have some hanging around here. I didn't know if we had any flint just laying around. I guess not. But we can get flint from gravel. And, of course, we have tons and tons of gravel over here. I think it's a 3 recipe. Yeah, there we go. Just like that. We'll get ourselves a little bit of gravel. Throw away any excess. We're going to need redstone and gold, which we have all of that laying around. This is why it's going to be a lot nicer whenever we get a refined storage system. So a lot of this stuff can be auto set up inside there. And then we can just craft from it. And life will be so much easier for us. And it doesn't take too long to get there, to that stage. So there's 8. Like I said, you just got to go through these steps. We already have ourselves the machine frames. And we're good to go. Right, let's go ahead and make this. We'll get our copper ingots set up. Bam. We'll get ourselves a pulverizer. Pulverizer is going to need a little bit of power. I'm not too worried about it right now. Not right yet. It's not going to be that important to me. The main thing I want to get is, you guys know, is just the nickel grit. That's all I care for. So let's go ahead and for right now, I'll just put a stack of wood in there. That should be plenty to give this enough power to last a little while. And we're going to make use of this. So we can automate this. It's not too difficult to do. I'm going to go ahead and remove my mechanical user from here, just so we can get some pretty decent automation set up. All right, so probably the fastest method is going to be these transfer item translocators. We're also going to need a stone, just a regular smooth stone barrel. And that can go down here. Right? You should be able to set right there. And that should allow us to pipe into it with a translocator. And you can see if we do that, bam, we get that ready to go. Now, the only thing that's going to be slow enough for this to not start spilling out an entire block before this is finished is probably going to be to use the actual pipe itself, the faucet. And to get the faucet to work, it's a little bit slower than using the other method, but it will allow it to hopefully not over pour when there's actually no stone in there. In order to do that, we're going to need, let's see, we already have that going. We need a hopper to pull that out because the hopper's going to be slow enough. Oh, we need a redstone clock. Just a simple redstone clock, which we have access to through extra utilities. And I think it's some smooth stone. And let's go ahead and make this. And there we go. You can also put a lever on this to turn it on and off. So if there's anything inside your smeltery and you don't want it to continue doing this process, you can shut this off. This will no longer pour. So we have a lot of stuff going on here. I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on. So as of right now, we have this chest full of iron. We need to turn it on and start just sending iron inside. Right? And that should get us our iron we need. Now, this also needs to be turned off. There we go. We'll just get this going. There we go. We're building up the iron. And we'll just let this do its thing. This is going to fill up. But what I need to do is set a hopper, I do believe, because I don't want it to accidentally pull off this stone. You know, we may use a translocator. That might actually be just as fast. And it has a filter. So that way we can get this set up. And plus, this copper chest, by the way, is not affected by the blocks that are above it. So it'll actually open down here. Right, so here is our casting. Place that there. And we need to get at least the one piece of iron ore here. There we go. Now I can set a filter to only pull out iron ore. And there we go. Now we have that turned on. So what this should do is only fill up. You see, it should only pull out iron ore down there. And then we're going to put that iron ore in the pulverizer. And hopefully 10 of them should guarantee at least one. So we have 19 of these bad boys in here. That should definitely guarantee us at least one. We'll go ahead and throw that in there. And we can acceleration wand this. As long as we have enough power, which we can of course acceleration wand this to give this a bit more power. Go back and forth. And hopefully get ourselves at least one. That is the ultimate goal. Oh boy. And then whenever we get further on, I should actually turn this off. Let's turn that off. There we go. Also, we can probably turn this off once it finishes its thing. There we go. Let's check. All right. It's almost there. Give it a little bit more power. Speed this up just a little bit. There's our one pulverized nickel. Okay. Whew. So all that work just for that. So what we're going to need to do at this point is to probably pull this out. We don't need this going on here. We can go ahead and get rid of our translocators for right now. We do have another station over here that we're going to use, but for right now I need to pick up all these items. Awesome. So what we need to do now is make that fraction, what is it called? The fractioning... the fractionating steel. Still, not steel. So we're going to need a gold gear. We're going to need a couple pieces of glass. So, gold gear, of course we're going to need that. What do we need? Glass, the frame, and copper. And of course another piece of gold for the reception coil. Copper. Some glass, which I do have down here. Perfect, and we should be able to make this thing. Now we're going to be using these a lot later on down the road, so just keep that in mind. We're going to learn how to use these for sure. All right, and there we go. Fractionating still. Awesome. So in order to use this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the fluid translocators. And I'm going to use that to pull fluid out of here into the fractionating still. We're going to configure this to be empty. The back is where we're going to input now. And as you can see, I can actually pull fluids out of here. And so I'm going to do that. And that's how you pull fluids out of your smeltery. Right? So all we got to do to get fluids back in here, to turn this on, give this a little bit of acceleration one action. And that's going to get some iron in here. Now, we do need to get that power that we had over. And this power is not going to be the power we stick with forever. This power is very, very weak. Very, very weak power. We can speed it up, though, with acceleration wands. Ever so slightly. So, like, if we put a mechanical user here, whack it with a wrench a couple times, we can put our acceleration wand in here. Use item on block, upper left slot. And that will speed it up a little bit with some wood in here. I mean, it will increase probably the RF per tick just a little bit more than 5 RF. If you go up a little bit higher, it should be good. But it looks like that can support what this is doing. But if we go to accelerate this, you can see that's going to actually change things. Yeah. And I don't know. It might actually be able to keep up just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. So it's going to be producing molten nickel. Right? And we need to get this out of here and actually turn into an ingot. And to do that, we're probably going to need to open up a side. I think we can pipe out of these, honestly, with Tinker's Construct. So what we can do is put another fluid. Let's see, why did I break that? I don't know why I broke that. Let's go over here. Grab another fluid. Gotta love these translocators. At least for tasks like this. There we go. Awesome. So I should be able to say, all right, this side is going to be the output. And I should be able to open this up. Close that off. And hopefully that will go in here. Hopefully that'll cast out. Did it do so? I think it might have went into the smeltery. Yeah, it definitely went into the smeltery. So, there we go. We don't want it going into the smeltery. So what we might need to do, temporarily, just break this. There we go. And that will definitely cast out our nickel. Right? You can see it doing there. And there's our nickel. Awesome. But as you can see, we did put the nickel in there and it did end up automatically alloying it. Which, I mean, we can do that as well. And we'll get our invar. So we can actually put a faucet down. So as you can see, I did go ahead and add some acceleration water just to give it a little bit more power so I can speed this up a little bit. Just a little bit more. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to shut this side out. And we're going to flip this around. Now this should only pull out molten nickel. Right? So we shut that down. Make sure that's actually shut down. And then we need to come over here. Open that up. That should pull that nickel into the smeltery. Awesome. Let's shut this off fully. There we go. And we should start seeing molten invar build up. And right now we have quite a lot of it. So I'm going to shut this. Shut that down. I want that to only pour out into that one. There we go. And we can sort of speed that up. There we go. So we have ourselves some invar. Pretty simple, right? All in all. I mean, it is a task. Just a task that has to be completed. I don't know why we're left with just a little bit of leftover invar. That's weird. We'll turn that back in. There we go. That should flood that back in with some more invar. May have been something to do with the way this is all set up. Right? Yeah, it's leaving just a little bit, but that's fine. We'll break that. We'll get that fixed. But for right now, we do have some of that going in here. Now, I can just cast out the invar if I wanted to. Problem is, whenever you leave that out, you will have some issues. So I'm going to go ahead and break this for right now. And I'll have to break this. Because we're going to have to get our cast here in a minute. Because this thing got kind of clogged up on us. So let's fix our casting table. And what we'll do is we'll just pipe specifically this. The nickel into here. And we'll just have nickel going. The rest will just keep iron. And we'll let this kind of do its thing. This guy should be generating enough power. We'll let that nickel flow out. And we'll use that nickel for something else. But right now we need the invar. Because we need to make that induction smelter. A good old-fashioned induction smelter. There we go. Alright, so same goes for this. Couple pieces of gold. Right, is all we need for that. Invar, we need some sand instead of glass. And good old-fashioned copper. And some sand, we could probably just grab that from... Actually, we have some sand right over here. There we go. Let's make our coil. And induction smelter. We need some good old copper gears. And an invar gear. There we go. And then voila, we have an induction smelter. And welcome to refined storage. Oh yeah. Alright, so I'm going to set this actually next to my power source over here. You can see it's kind of got a nice little texture and everything. Really like these new textures that Tim put in here. It's not even a texture pack. It's like straight up just the resource loader. The resource loader mod. If I can talk, is what's doing that. Really nice. Okay, so back to what we were getting into, getting our hands into. So in order to move forward, we need iron. And we also need silver. And this together, turning this off, this together is going to get us into refined storage. Yes. The quartz enriched iron is basically all we need, kind of, for refined storage. Almost all. So let's get into everything that we need, the base, just for refined storage. One thing, we need the actual pulverizer, right? We need to actually be using this pulverizer. So let me go ahead and move this. I'm just going to set this in front of here for right now, so we can temporarily use it. What I'm going to do is grind out a little bit of sand. Let's dump that. There we go. And sand in here, if we kind of speed this up, it is a little bit slow. We speed this up a little bit. You can see it's giving us silicon. Or not silicon, silicon. We're going to need a bit of that. And that's why having this is going to be really nice. So, as you can see, we can just kind of acceleration 1 that and make that a little bit faster. We don't need too much of it. The main thing we need is this. And this can actually acceleration 1 really quick. And we can make tons of that. So, back to refined storage. We need definitely a controller, and we're going to need a power source for this. So the controller's going to need a little bit of refined quartz. Also, we're going to need to make this. Now, the advanced processor doesn't require diamond. It requires instead the statue of the thinker. Now, the statue of the thinker requires a chisel and stone put inside of a crafting table together. And that's how you get that statue of the thinking, the high-res statue of the thinker. As cool as that may sound. Let's get like 8 of them for right now. Also, we're going to need a chisel. Now, I don't know if this consumes the whole chisel, does it? No, it does use durability. Awesome. So we'll put these statues down. These guys are hilarious looking. If you read the description, so powerful, it requires 32 by 32 pixels to render. Yeah, that's the joke. So, we now have that, and we should be able to sort of move along into everything else. Now, to get these, of course, we need a cutting tool. And actually, refined storage has updated since this, this version. So this is actually a version behind, because the quartz cutting tool actually disappeared in one of the newer versions. So it's kind of funny to see this back again. So to make cutting tools, we're actually going to need a few of them. And I think all the other recipes for the cutting tool are the same. So our cut silicon, all that stuff that we're going to need is still the same. It's going to require some redstone, iron, right? A little bit of iron and gold. I think we have all that. And we have tons of sand at this point that we don't actually need. We'll need a handful of sand, mainly for the silicon. Awesome. But to get started, we don't need that much. All right, back to the crafting table we go. Oh, we also need to just grab out this while we're over here. Perfect. All right, so the main machine case, that's that for the controller. We're going to need this cut, so we need one of those. And we're going to need some sticks for this, just to make our first tool. First cutting tool. And we're going to use a cutting tool to cut up some silicon. There we go. And next, it'll be this redstone with whatever we're about to craft with. So whether it be the thinker, or whatever it needs to be, we have that now. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and just use all of them right now, just to get a few of these done. Oh, there we go. And as you can see, the tool actually runs out pretty quick. We need a few of the iron. And same with the gold. Perfect. So that's a nice 8, 8, 8, and 8. Okay. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to throw these in our cookers. I did go ahead and set these up for automation, so they should be just about done. I do have enough. I'm making more smeltery stuff in case we need to build more smelteries. But these should be done fairly quick. Of course, the advanced processor is already done. Look at that. So over here, we need to go ahead and grab the rest of that silicon. Keep running into all these poles. All right. And we should be able to make the controller. Perfect. The controller is done. Now we need to move into some more advanced things, which are going to require a few more different pieces. So to make a regular grid, because a crafting grid's a bit different, we need some redstone and glowstone. Just 1 and 1. Redstone and glowstone. And those are going to require our basic processors. Right? So a destruction catalyst, or destruction core. And we also need a construction core. Also, we have a bunch of junk we need to probably get rid of. There we go. A little bit of a clear inventory. So yeah, the grid. Another one of these cases. And we should have everything else, I do believe. Let's take the rest of the cores out. There we go. That should leave us with this. We need some glass. I have some stored around. Perfect. There's our grid. We need a crafting table. That shouldn't be too difficult. I don't know if I have one just laying around. Nope. Oh, yeah, do. Right there. Awesome. And there's our crafting grid. Okay, so the only other thing we need is a way to store our stuff. And to do that, we probably need a disk drive. The disk drive is just going to require more of that quartz. So let's go ahead and get that. And we need a chest. I think that's the only thing we're missing. Right? It's a chest. And there's our disk drive. So that's pretty much everything. That should do. That should do for right now. We do need some disks. That's going to be the other thing. At least to get some of the items we currently have stored away so we can craft the rest of these items by hand. It's probably I'm going to recommend making just a 1K storage drive just to get you started. 2 pieces of glass. And then of course you can move all those items out of this and into a different drive later on. Oh, we need 3. There we go. All right. So that should be just about it. All right, we need to make the 1K storage disk. And voila, we are ready to go. We have refined storage. And yeah, we got all of this ready to be used. And now it's at our disposal. Awesome. So I'm going to put the controller. I need a placement block. Want to use iron. Controller. All of that good stuff here. The controller is going to need some power, which is completely understandable. So what we're probably going to do, I'm going to take this whole setup and move it over here. Then we're going to work on power very soon. Power is going to be something that we're going to do like in no time. I think probably next episode. So, for right now though, we'll use this setup. There we go. Get our acceleration wands back in here. There we go, upper left slot. Last but not least, all we're going to do now is place this down. So we'll control click that. That should be putting the wood in there. And there we go. This thing is getting some power. Nice. Some pretty decent power as well. All right, so let's go ahead and drop our card in here. Where did our card went somewhere? There it is. And now we have 1K worth of storage. Yeah, and we should be able to like drop our items in here now. Oh, it's so much nicer having somewhere to store your items. Totally beats what we were doing. All right, so I'm going to grab a stack of each item we have here. Right, and that should help us along. And we can make more of these drives. Go ahead and throw all these in here. Perfect. Also, yeah, we're going to take these ender pearls as well. Oh, yeah. We're probably already getting close to that cap. Man, this thing looks really good. It's crazy when... Okay, so yeah, we've already hit our cap. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and work on more of these. I should have enough. All right, let's get Pick some ender pearls out. We'll grab our glass. This is what we were missing. And we'll make a couple more of these drives. Of course, we can add more disk space at any time. So that's why some people are like, well, why do you make 1K? It's such a waste at the beginning. Well, to me, it doesn't matter. It just helps me get started even faster, in my opinion. So there's our 1K. Perfect. So now we can drop all these items in here. And we're good to go. Perfect. Whew. All of that to get to refined storage, which I'm not going to lie, refined storage is now going to open up tons and tons and tons of opportunities for us for automation. First thing first to get automated, though, is the production of this. Yeah, we need to get that done better. And so we may need our own mini Tinker's Construct smeltery in order to produce a couple things. So if we take a look at the process it's going to take to get to this, I mean, once we get here, it may be easier, but I don't know how soon we get string. So that's a thing. So we already have iron auto-produced. It's going to be the silver that is going to take the time to produce and actually have that automated. So we're going to need to make sure that we have glass going into one smeltery, and iron being pumped in with it. And they need to be going in at the same pace, otherwise things will get messed up. So that's going to be a problem because glass actually has higher, glass cooks faster than iron. So we may need to set up some kind of timer system to make sure that it's only pumping those in at the exact same time. I think that's going to be the best way to do that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, you guys can let me know down in the comments below, but guys, we are at refined storage, which means we're going to now start having access to import buses, export buses, a new way of piping items around. Also, we don't have sugarcane, so I can't really add any speed upgrades. There are a few things that we don't have access to, which is sugarcane for specific types of upgrades. Let's take a look at things that are required here. So nothing special along this. External storage buses, nothing special. Cables are nothing special. And so yeah, we should be able to get all of this done. Detectors to make sure that a certain amount of items are done. The auto crafters, how crazy are those? No, not hard at all. So we now have access to a better system for auto crafting. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. So the next thing, I guess, it will be getting into pattern terminals, getting into auto crafters, and things like that, guys, which will be just around the corner. So I hope you guys enjoyed, on the back of my head, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video a thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And as always, that's right, thanks for watching.